we're about to see what's item is at Link's house, and it is the Book of Medora.
Alrighty then.
And Sanctuary's item is the small key. And there's our map check. We have a 5-6 in Hera, and it looks like Vanilla Green Pendant in Eastern Palace. Desert being another standard crystal.
Yeah, that early book could be an indication that our runners are going to want to go into Desert sooner rather than later. Of course, at this point, they can't complete it. They need a glove. They need a fire source to actually finish the dungeon.
Diesel getting lucky there with the tree pull. One bomb is the prize.
Yep, and we see Actaboker pulling a different tree, getting the same pull. The pulls are randomized, but they are set to be standard across all of our runners.
And the mirror is on Uncle!
Well, you were the one who pointed out. 2 mirrors in the seed, we get the mirror right away.
And Lumberjack is only 50 rupees, 20 rupees at the secret passage next to Uncle. And it looks like our bush crab is the big 20 itself, so not going to be starved for money.
Yeah, what a great set of drops. The bombs from the tree, the 20 rupees from the bush crabs. Our runners will have an opportunity to grab a couple of those bush crabs early on here in the game, so money, as you say, not going to be an issue here.
Yeah, we had 2 mirrors in the hash. And it turns out that the mirror was actually an Uncle. So, in terms of ideal scenarios here, you would like to save Aga 1 for last in these kinds of seeds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You'd like to save Aga 1 for last so that you can just mirror over, kill Aghanim 1, and then go ahead and jump down the hole and kill Ganon as the last thing.
Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the case here, but it is ideal. And we are already going to see if the pedestal is required. I mean, you had the book early enough, you might as well check. But sadly, it's just a piece of heart, folks. Pet is dead.
Pet is dead, but those pendant dungeons, of course, are not. We will see full clears of all of them.
Yeah, Green Pendant might even have something good.
Yep, we could have a vanilla green pendant leading to vanilla boots, leading to vanilla key on torch in desert.
That's a lot of vanilla. I don't think that's going to be exactly the case.
Yeah.
And we have a single arrow there in the Thief's Hideout. Alright, Ak is the first one into Kakariko, and you only have a heart piece, 20 rupees to start us off here in the Lion's House. Power Gloves, though! Big find! And another heart piece, so early gloves. That's interesting. And a shield.
Yeah, as we mentioned, you would need gloves to complete Desert Palace, so, I mean, paired with the book, it might be some indication, but the gloves, of course, unlock so much. You can't really read too much into what those gloves tell you to do. They're, of course, part of the Dark World puzzle as well.
Yeah. Desert is still not online, though. We need a fire source, be the fire rod or the lamp. And we get a heart container to start off the well items. Another heart piece. What else we got? Our 4th heart piece. Mail upgrade. And 300.
Yep, some nice items to be finding. A little more safety in the mail and a little more life. And some more rupees to make those early game things that need rupees, like this bottle vendor right here, pretty simple.
Although pretty pointless. That is taking 100 and turning it into 20.
Yeah, negative 80% return on your investment is not particularly great.
Indeed.
And there we got another heart container there in the chicken hut, so already up to 6 hearts and blue mail on Axe screen.
Yeah, that's an okay amount of health for the time being. Yeah, I mean, it could be better. Like, maybe 10 hearts, blue mail makes you fine for the rest of the seed.
Yeah, a lot of runners will treat that 10 hearts, that first row of hearts, as sort of the goal. So if there's an easily accessible heart container, some runners will go out of their way to pick it up until around that full first row of hearts. But Act just showed us our 7th heart container.
And yeah, I would completely agree with that. Alright, library check coming up now for both Files and Ack. Something we really care about, unfortunately. And will this be a blind check of the race? Looks like it.
Yep, I think this blind check makes sense. We really don't have any items that point towards too much progression just yet, so you'll see a lot of runners YOLO the race game. We see Ack may save a little bit of time on files if this item is required.
And it's just a heart container, so...
Yeah, if I were an Axe choose, I myself, I'd get the heart. Yeah, Axe gonna do it. You already walked all that way anyway. You might as well go ahead and grab that.
We don't really have any means to go to reason to go to escape yet, but it looks like Files will be going to pick out the mirror. And Ack only just now getting the Book of Medora. So does not have the information that the rest of the runners have, most likely. Although I think it was only 2 Firebird that checked pedestal.
Yeah. It is unlikely, yeah, that our runners could, in theory, check the front part of Escape if they conserve their bombs and use them quite wisely. But I think there are certainly better plays to be made, say the south route, this point in the game. But Files might be considering doing that, because Files is walking right back out of the secret passage.
Yeah, did the Houlihan is going to go buy bombs. And that is an off-color of Link, so I think Duke is actually using a variation of Link.
Yep, seems to be the hat color, because Link's got the banana tunic on.
And just another heart container on Lake Hylia Island, so nothing too important just yet.
Yeah, that Lake Hylia Island is one of the things that's unlocked by the mirror we found, but not something we need. A few other locations in the overworld will be unlocked by the mirror.
And we're going to see a bomb set up here for the first part of the escape sequence. Although that will help a lot.
We're going to see bombs for that one room, and then we're probably not going to see much bombs at all for the rest of Escape, because we got our first sword there.
Yeah, that is a great find.
Yep, and
now,
both...
granted, it's only fighter sword, but it's going to turn into a master sword soon enough. And wow,
Yeah.
nothing but elephants at Sorhasala.
Eh?
And a 3-bomb pack at the dam. So we have a lot of interesting divergence here. We have someone doing South Shore loop. We're doing someone do Eastern. There's a green potion for Files. Acro's gonna be getting that. And we have someone in the Eastern area.
And then, yeah.
There.
Yeah, heart containers. So many heart containers here in the early game. That potion there in Escape, that could be an indicator of progression. We could be required to haul that bottle back to Kakariko and check in with the sick kid.
Also, I'd like to think that they confiscated Uncle's sword and brought it further into the castle. Ooh, not a good prize in Zelda's chest. It's only a singular rupee. And say bye to Files for a little while.
Yep, Files is going to be heading into the dark. There's one chest there in the back of Escape that is hidden in the dark. This is what we call a sequence break. The game does not expect you to try and navigate through dark rooms.
Diesel, running out of bombs, has to leave. Oh, he has 1 bomb left, but he didn't have enough to kill the 2 mold worms.
Yeah, that's rough.
And it looks like we got another bottle in Eastern Palace. And a lot of money. So we're set up on Zora. But yeah, getting back to the dark rooms here. The game doesn't ever require you to do these rooms in the dark. They expect you to have the lamp. And with 4 dungeons with dark rooms like this, and only 3 pendant dungeons, even if this wasn't an all dungeon seed, the lamp is still required. To some degree.
Ooh!
Fire rod in the dark!
What a tremendous find there.
So, that is also important information as well.
Absolutely.
Because fire rod is in the dark, the game intends you to have lamp as your initial fire source.
Absolutely. The game expects you to use the lamp to get to the fire rod. That tells us that the lamp will not be available behind the fire rod. So anything that's locked behind the fire rod, the back of Skull Woods or potentially Turtle Rock, lamp won't be in there. But if our runners want to hold off on getting the lamp and say, rely on using the fire rod to light torches in dark rooms, well, not going to happen.
Oh, there's the lamp right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the game doesn't expect you to do, or the game logic doesn't expect you to do sequence breaks. Dark room navigation is a sequence break, and something else that we have as a sequence break that's known as fake flippers.
Yeah. Duke Firebird, you mentioned, has all that Zora money, so a fake flipper play to get up to Zora might be in the future up there on the upper left screen.
Yeah, dark rooms are not intended to be navigated in the dark.
Yeah.
So it's at least there for anyone who's newer to the randomizer to be kind of nice to them. Really, I feel. If you know your dark rooms, though, you don't necessarily need the lamp. It's just a technicality. And Mini Molder Cave, full of health, but another sword.
Ooh.
And that's the sword that Diesel has. Going in the desert. And at this point, pending the boots, we could full clear desert.
Yep, we'll need to see if there's a key on the torch. That will let us know if desert is full clearable.
Or just the first chest. If it's not a key, then we know it's boots locked to some degree.
Yep.
But even then, we might be able to finish the dungeon but have an item on the torch that we'll have to double back to.
Yeah, Diesel's in a rough spot not having the fire source that Files and Act do, because there's no way Diesel will be able to finish this dungeon.
And well, we have the big key, so we're not locked out of the dungeon, but we might be able to be locked out in terms of items. And smoking on the torch, so this dungeon is technically boots locked.
Yes, the game will assume that...
Oh my goodness! What?
Well, okay.
That's okay. If that was our first glove, that was vanilla.
Yep,
but
glove in the vanilla chest.
But because it's progressive items, that made it the Titan's Mitts, which is amazing. So there's our Dark World. So, move Pro pending, we have our Dark World access.
This is true.
And yeah, the reason why it's considered boots lock, for those who may be wondering, there is some people who would probably steal the key from the back to check the right side, and in that instance, the dungeon would be boots locked because you still need the key from the front in order to finish the back.
Absolutely. The game assumes that you will spend the keys in the silliest possible way, and so we'll never let you lock yourself out by spending the keys poorly.
And two Firebird about to discover the lamp, and because we started with the key, is Sanctuary can just go back and get the Fire Rod right now. Doesn't stop at him.
Absolutely true. And we got the red shield from the old man, so not a particularly great item to find. It's not terrible. The only place in the game it really helps is on Blind the Thief, but I think our runners are probably going to be good enough that they can do what we call the scripted fight. Yeah.
And someone in chat is asking another possible Agassi. No, this is absolutely 100% in an Agassi because of the goal. All dungeons, once again, requires all pendants, all crystals, and both versions of Aghanim defeated before Ganon is vulnerable.
Yeah, Act the Boker is going to be picking up the bow right here, which is sitting on Spectacle Rock.
Well, that's good to find.
It is good to find.
Only has one arrow to his name, but can now go full clear Eastern Palace. And gonna check Ether Tablet here as well because we have Master Sword. Might as well.
Absolutely. A lot of really interesting progression items scattered around. The early book, the mirror, a bunch of interesting stuff.
And yeah, we already knew Mitzvah in Desert because of S. Diesel. The only difference here is that S. Diesel did not have a fire source, so could not have defeated Lamolas. And it looks like we got a map in here to start off. And Duke Firebird is the last of our feature 4 to find the mirror on Uncle.
Yeah, but we did get the big key in the next chest of Harris, so Actoboker does not have to do the basement just yet. Meanwhile, Files, entering Desert with a fire source, is able to head to Landmola, and so Files will give us our first Landmola kill.
And be the first one with a crystal on the board. Unless Ack can get up to Boulder and kill a little faster.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give Files the edge on first crystal here.
Especially considering we have a green potion in a bottle. Yeah, this might be Files with the first crystal. And there's the first item, 20 rupees, there in Tower Hera. And Diesel now with Master. And I looked away for a brief second, but I was assuming that we got something in that big chest.
The big chest was a compass.
Alright. So it's either the second item on Moldorm, or it's the small key. And ideally we want to see the item, because the small key can lock itself in the chest, and that's perfectly fine by me. The other item is on Landmolas, and it is 20 rupees.
Yep. Ack is going to try and kill Moldorm with 3 spin attacks here. Doing a pretty good job. Almost took a fall in the middle hole early on, but recovered well.
Yeah. You don't want to fall in that middle hole. That takes you down 2 levels. And 3 spins, gets past the enraged phase, and small key locks in the basement. That is a good hit Tower Hera if I ever considered it one.
Yep, absolutely. The items weren't too great, but the fact that we don't have to do the desert and it's done without taking any Trolldorm falls, pretty good Tower of Hera. Files are going to show us a difficult to get to location here in Agina's Cave. Did I imagine our other runners saw that already?
Just an arrow boost upgrade. But yeah, it's not too out of the way if you're doing desert. You just pair it up when you're finishing. And yeah, after taking the bow, going straight to Eastern, this is no surprise here.
Yep, especially we have the lamp, we have the bow, so
Actually, this is actually kind of funny. We're gonna be able to clear all of our all of our light world dungeons before we even enter the dark world. This is set up sort of pseudo vanilla here.
Yeah.
And we have yet to see the Moon Pearl.
That's true.
And Duke Firebird is actually going up to defeat Agamemnon right now, and that makes perfect sense. Because we haven't seen that Moon Pearl. So for all we know, it could be on the pyramid.
Yeah, absolutely true. This, if this were a regular rando seed, you'd look at Duke Firebird's screen and be like, this is a crazy gamble, but this is a required thing. The only weird thing about it is just that Duke is choosing to do it now.
Yeah, and we just saw the Uncle item, although I missed it. We'll be seeing it on Files in here in a moment.
The old man is a shield upgrade. We've already seen that.
Oh yeah, we've already been in Eastern Palace because of Duke Firebird. We haven't cleared it. But yeah, considering that Duke has not been on the map, Mountain, this is kind of a weird play.
Yeah, especially if you come back later in the game with some more firepower, tempered swords, silver arrows, you can get it done a little bit quicker.
Well, Fire Rod still helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Diesel now with the bow. Files sees it. And there's our Dark World matchup. Mire and Ice are our other 2 pendant dungeons. I did not catch where our other 5-6 was. And someone says, what does it mean when it's open? Yeah, you don't have to do the escape sequence.
Yep, the game will start you with the ability to load from Link's house or the Sanctuary. Zelda's already rescued. So there is no requirement to do the escape sequence unless you need to go in there for some sort of item. Today, our runners found a sword in there, so they are very happy they did it.
Yes, and not to mention Mira was on Uncle. And it looks like we're going to see Act going straight to the Armos Knights. Does he have all 3 items?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything interesting come out of Eastern on Act's screen. And chat's not going crazy about anything, so I don't know if anything interesting showed up, but I do not know if there's an item on Armos.
Well, we've seen a full clear from Duke Firebird, I think, from everywhere else. I just don't remember if there was an item on the big key chest. But yeah, it looks like our other 5/6 is at Skull Woods. So that's actually on the table, I think, yeah.
Interesting. Duke Firebird gets a blue ball there from Aghanim. I don't know if that's the first one. All of our runners will get the same number of those non-reflectable blue balls, so that RNG won't hurt our runners relative to each other.
Yeah, it is, as we would call it, seeded. And just a compass there, so unless the Moon Pearl is specifically on the green pendant, Duke Firebird's making the right play, because I don't think we've seen... I think we've seen every other location that is currently in Logic.
Well, we do have Zora in Logic because we got a glove, and we do have Sick Kid in Logic because we got bottles.
That is true. We haven't seen those locations yet, but the odds are... It'd be a very far-fetched play here, but we're about to see what is on the pyramid, folks, as Duke Firebird has defeated Aga 1. Unfortunately, does not get the refill for it.
Yep, you need to have the Moon Pearl in your possession to get that refill.
And it's just 20 rupees, so it is in the light world somewhere.
That's true.
So that was not exactly a time loss, I want to say, but could have saved Aga 1 for a little bit later.
We got the Moon Pearl from the green pendant. That was it.
Alright, so there we go. That was our Dark World access. Of course, Zach still needs to go to the desert to get the Titan's Mitts.
Yep, and having Aga done early in this seed is not all that terrible for Duke Firebird, because with only the Titan's Mitts, you're very limited in your Dark World access. The only portal unlocked without the hammer and with the Titan's Mitts is the one north of Kakariko. So having that portal at Hyrule Castle is going to be a pretty useful thing for Duke Firebird.
That is true. However, I was referring more so to the enemies being changed up in the Light World. Look at this. We have 4 birds and the Red Guard there, blocking the path to desert now. Things just made it a little bit harder, but our runners can handle it. I'm sure.
Yeah, we already have a ton of health, too. We have Blue Mail, Act the Boker in lead with the health with 13 heart containers at 23 minutes.
And here's what our Sick Kid has. The Quake Medallion!
Quake Medallion.
We might need that.
Absolutely. We definitely need to get into Mire. We definitely need to get into Turtle Rock, so that's a pretty decent chance we'll need it.
Yeah, and it's not because we need the item on pedestal. We already know that's a piece of heart. It's simply because we need it for the goal. We need all the trinkets in the game, and both of the wizards dead, in order to finish the seed.
So, Act the Boker with the Mitts is now the first of our runners with the entire Dark World package. Has the Moon Pearl and the Mitts.
That's right, but look at S Diesel on the way to being the second. So yeah, this is pseudo vanilla in a way.
Yep.
You had to clear all of the Light World dungeons except for Aga 1 in order to get your Dark World access.
Yeah, pretty much. Didn't technically have to go into Hera, but we did need to go up to Death Mountain to get the bow from Spectacle Rock.
And with the 5-6 where it is, it's not too feasible. Actually, wait. There is a possibility, actually. A very slim possibility that Aga might still be required, I just realized. And I'm talking in terms, not in terms of doing it, I'm talking in terms of doing it sooner rather than later.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. Why don't you tell everybody?
The big bomb.
Absolutely. Without the hammer, there's no way to get that big bomb up to the pyramid except by taking it through the castle gate portal. So if the hammer is at the pyramid ferry, or locked behind whatever's at the pyramid ferry, then we'll need to do that Aghanim earlier, as you say, rather than later.
And as it stands as well, we don't actually have access to Palace of Darkness except through that Agate portal as well.
This is true. Absolutely. So that Agate portal is our East Dark World access right now.
That's right. It's not going to stay that way, mind you, but it is a fairly high chance that Duke Firebird made the right play and didn't even know it yet.
Absolutely. What a nifty way for this seed to have spit those items out for us to have these sorts of things to talk about.
And there is the move for Diesel. And Files isn't going to Aghanim. But getting back to the hammer being at Pyramid Ferry, that is a fairly low odds. And there is creative ways you can get around the Aghanim requirement with bomb duping, which is another sequence break, but a fairly tricky one to explain.
Yeah, I know about that. I'm not exactly sure myself how that thing works.
All I know is that you have to basically screen transition as the bomb's about to explode.
Yeah.
And then it's carried with you through that transition. But yeah, all the runners with the fire shield now, which I approve of.
Yep. And the two runners on the right have taken those Titan's Mitts and that Moon Pearl and are in the Dark World now.
Yes, and it looks like Ack will be starting with Skull Woods.
Yeah, and it looks like Diesel's going to follow Ack. We know we can complete it. We have the fire rod, so might as well.
And with 13 Hearts Blue Mail, Ack has pretty much got all the help he'll ever need.
Yep, Ack takes a quick ride on the elevator to get back out of that room in the back.
And this is also ideal because if any of the runners have not checked Pedestal yet, they're going to do it with a quick mirror after finishing Mothfield off.
Yep, one of many instances where the mirror helps out your routing immensely when you're traveling through the Dark World. And we're seeing actually two different routes through Skullwoods. Diesel is going to do the regular clear of the front before heading to the Moth, while Ack is going to go straight to the back, clear out Mothula, and then worry about cleaning up the front of the dungeon if it turns out to be necessary.
Both are valid, I'll say that much. I'm usually in the camp of check the front, especially if it's not a required. And we have a Bombos medallion, I think, just now in that big chest, so there's two of our three medallions.
Yes, indeed.
But at this point, for all we know, Ether could be required for both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock.
So, Ak is proceeding into the Mothula fight with no magic, so we're going to see Master Sword strats for Mothula.
Which is vanilla. Strats.
Yeah, that is the intended way you fight this moth in the vanilla game, and that's a beautiful fight.
Yeah, very well executed there. And Mothula only dropping the map, so the back didn't pay out as much as the front did. But
Yeah.
it looks like our second item might be in the chest under the bridge.
Yep. At least we have that mirror, so we don't have to take a death or walk all the way out.
And yeah, no access to Palace of Darkness except by going through Aga 1 at this point in time. We have access to the Dark World, and even then, Faust doesn't even have the Moon Pearl, which is on Saraswala.
Yep. Akaboker did travel under the bridge and got 20 rupees down there.
And yeah, Duke Firebird, like I said, also does not have the Moon Pearl, which is, again, it's Saraswala. So now we have 2 runners who have defeated Aga 1, and a little bit earlier than would be optimal, I would say. And we did see a quick check of the tablet, or the pedestal there for Ash. Knows now that it's just a heart piece. And ho ho ho, Files! You clever person.
Yeah, this is really going to pay off for Files. That's a really great call there.
Files walking over to Eastern area, leaving the portal there, so that when they are done with Eastern Palace, can just mirror right back to the Dark World and go straight to Palace of Darkness.
Yep, absolutely. Files knows the Moon Pearl has to be here. Was hoping probably to find it right there.
But sadly, well, it's closer than he realizes, but he has to clear Eastern first.
Yep. So Files will clear Eastern, he'll turn in that green pendant, he'll get the Moon Pearl he wants, and he'll hop right back into that portal and will be well on the way to clear a pod. This is a... Go ahead.
Duke Firebird's doing some fake clever action. We're about to see what Hobo is, and this is out of sequence. Looks like a bomb booster. Hack is checking what is known as Bumper Cave. And that was a very fast check, but I think that was half magic?
I'm not quite sure myself.
It was relatively fast. It was either half magic or a capacity upgrade for arrows.
Duke Firebird does not have the Moon Pearl, and so is unable to do a water walking glitch that would allow him to check the 2 items in the waterfall cave.
Yeah. This is unfortunate for Duke Firebird, really, because, well, given we know where the Moon Pearl is, he has not taken that bow and realized he can full clear Eastern Palace. So he's realistically losing quite a bit of time here. We're going to get another look here at Bumper Cave on S Diesel. Maybe we can get Kitchen this time. Yeah, it's just a 10 arrow booster. Or an arrow booster in general. Training game. Only 20 rupees there. And the big fish has a bee in a bottle.
Bee in a bottle, scam in a bottle. So Ack is now in Thieves Town, while Diesel is going to give us a check on the Graveyard Ledge.
And is Duke not realizing where he missed? Does he miss... Oh no, did Duke miss Mark? Going Eastern, okay. He's figured it out. There's the Ice Rod!
Yeah, Ice Rod in the Graveyard Ledge Cave. That is a location that is often skipped or left for a long time. So a great find there. Of course, absolutely required.
I think Duke Fivers realized, oh wait, I had the bow this whole time.
Yep.
Might be using a few errors in frustration here.
Yeah. Saved and quit, and you save and quit, and that bow shows up in your inventory slot. So at least if that happens, you can be reminded that that you have it.
Yeah. And now we're seeing thieves down here for Actaboker. I missed what was in the front half, unfortunately, but it looks like it wasn't anything too important.
No, there wasn't anything good there.
And time for the Armos Knights.
We did get the small key for Thieves Town in the front half, so there could potentially be an item in the big chest.
That is true. And to answer Hookshot John's question there in chat, yes, Aga 1 is required because of the goal. But in terms of the order of when you can do Aga 1, you could have saved it for a little bit later. At least as far as we are aware for the time being. We might need it for this Eastern Palace for this Palace of Darkness access.
Yeah, Files is going to be a good source of information about Aghanim when Files gets back to the Dark World, right after picking up this Moon Pearl. That's a bit excessive, Files.
And there are the flippers in the attic of Thieves Town.
Alrighty then, so the flippers would provide access to Pod. So less likely that Aghanim was required for any reason other than the goal.
Yes, however, still could be the hammer on the Pyramid Fairy.
Absolutely. So I haven't been paying attention closely enough to the items in Thieves Town to know if there is an item in the big chest.
Oh, we'll probably see a menu real quick. And then we'll get confirmation. But even if there's an item in the big chest, we can't get it.
Yep, that's why I'm thinking about it. That's one of those things that you can leave for a really long time if you don't have the hammer when you first come into Thieves Town.
And then we're getting our first look in Palace of Darkness. Now on File's end. And a choke from Blind on Axe end. The boots!
What a nice find. So Files can go fast, and Files is the only person really well set up at this point to be in this part of the world and have those boots.
That is correct. Duke Fiver is the only other person on our feature where that could be in that sort of position. And yeah, boots, for those who just missed it, we're on File's end in the very first chest here of Palace of Darkness. So, if you wanted to go fast as soon as possible, you kill Aga 1.
Yeah?
Let's see what else is here in Pod. And yeah, we did get flippers in Thieves Town, so... Beyond that, nothing good. $16 digs for that item there in the ding game. Not really worth it, though.
Not worth it. Those digging game digs are yet another example of one of those random things that's seeded to be the same between all of our runners.
Yeah, and that's anywhere from 1 to 30. So, a little bit on the... Just starting in the lower half of that 50-50. Or that... No, that's not the right word. I'm sure you know what I mean.
Ack the Boker has taken the dwarf friend to visit the sick kid. Always nice to visit your pals when they're not feeling so well. Unless they're contagious.
Oh! I flinched there. I thought the guard turned... The Smith turned back into a guard. Oh... The timing of that is just too good. We have the magic cape there in Pot of the Darkness.
Yeah, we already know that the bumper ledge isn't anything, but the cape could be required for Spike Cave? We can't get into Spike Cave yet without the hammer.
Yeah, it's required for Spike Cave by technicality logic, if that's a word, descriptive word. You need an invincibility item for that location because of OKO rolls, and also just to make sure you have all the health. And it's also in the logic for Laser Bridge for the same reason. They don't expect you to dodge those lasers without getting hit. Or being able to block them.
Yeah, Laser Bridge logic is one of the most neglected part of the logics, because pretty much everybody will know their laser skips and things like that.
Alright, Case Alpha Grove. Only 5 rubies today.
Alright, so Files has done everything he can in Pod without the hammer. Cannot complete the dungeon.
That is correct, and it is simply because, well, we don't know where that hammer is.
Ack is going to have a nice loop here through the south part of the Dark World. Ack will turn in this purple chest, will give us a check of the Bombos tablet, we'll check Hype Cave, and we'll be able to check the Pyramid Fairy. It has both the 5-6 crystals from Tower of Hera and Skull Woods.
Alright, and just to clarify something that someone is saying in chat, inverter modes will be used during the Fault Tournament at the runner's discretions. The runners will be allowed to customize their seeds a little bit for the fall open this time around. By my understanding, at the very least.
Yep, that's what I've heard.
And just so it's a little bit fair, here I've also caught wind that... Oh, there's our hammer!
Wow!
Oh, wait a minute!
That means the hammer was locked by the boots, and the boots are in Pod.
And... Okay, that's still, you can still work around Aga, but it's just more convenient, I think, to do Aga at that point.
Yeah, I think it is very convenient to have done Aga to get that, but you absolutely need to get to Pod to get that hammer, so that's a required double dip on Pod, and you either need to do Aghanim or get the flippers from Thieves Town in order to even get to Pod in the first place.
Yeah, but getting back to what I was saying here, to make it fair for the runners so that they aren't, like, surprised by anything, when they schedule the matches, from my understanding, they have to include the settings for the modes for the race, the customization options. That way, their opponent can practice them.
Ack the
or
Boker
has a chance to.
Yeah, Ack the Boker just pulled the silver arrows out of Hype Cave, which is pretty hype.
Yeah. Not necessarily required because silverless strategies exist, but as of this current standing with just the Master Sword, I would have taken the silver arrows.
Yep.
I do not want to do a Master Sword serverless Ganon if I can help it.
Yeah, and especially since we have to do all dungeons, we need to kill every single boss, and every little bit of firepower we have will let us shave some time off.
And Ack is making a very interesting play here.
Yeah, Ack is going to check only one accessible item chest in Swamp without that hammer.
Which, unfortunately, we now know is in King's Tomb. And someone is actually asking a really good question there in chat. Shouldn't everyone be running with the same rule set? It's going to be set up in such a way that the qualifiers are going to be predetermined. Then it's going to be higher seeded gets its round 1. And then it's going to be a best of 3. Higher seeding gets the first pick. Lower seeding gets the second pick. And if it goes down to a tiebreaker after that, it's determined by a third party.
Yeah, and
you'll kind of cut out there, Fireworking. What were you saying?
I believe participants will have some ability to veto settings they don't want to see.
Yes.
So Ack only got the compass in that accessible chest in Swamp.
And something else I should probably clarify here is that there are certain categories, and they only pick one selection per category. So you can't have, like, key standing and enters at the same time. It's only one or the other.
Yeah. It seems that Duke Firebird got beat up a little bit by Mothula there and took 2 deaths.
Oof. That's not a good feeling.
Yeah, meanwhile, Files is going to try and put Mothula down here. We know there's nothing really good in terms of items in Skullwoods, but of course, definitely required.
Ack. Oh, no, wait. There is no entrance. I'm mistaken. It's Randomizer. That is the option that we're going to have. You can't have Randomizer and Key Sanity. It's one or the other.
Mothula goes down for Files.
And I think I can also answer that question in chat there. I believe when we get inverted mode available, you're going to be starting on the pyramid. I haven't been in the version 30 betas, so I don't know all the facts about it, but I'm looking forward to it, just like everyone else is. Yeah, I'm not part of the beta. I'm only going off what I've heard.
So Ack is proceeding up to the Catfish, and with the mirror and the flippers, we'll be able to mirror over and check the waterfall cave, and we'll be able to get that bee in a bottle from Zora for 500 rupees. Where was Hammer? Hammer was in King's Tomb and Boots were in Pod.
And Catfish, not really the best there, but...
No, but Ack is going to give us a check of 2 chests we have not seen, 20 bucks, and 10 arrows, so not great.
Not great, but the arrows were actually kind of nice to have, I feel.
Yeah, we're kind of low on arrows. We did get those silvers, so we have some nice firepower, but we actually need arrows to use them. Diesel is the first of our runners into Ice Palace. So Diesel's going to show us the first item from Ice Palace here in this Pengator room. Having a little bit of trouble with the Pengators. Trying to put a couple of silver arrows into them.
And just a small key there.
Yeah, early small key and ice is not terrible because it does make your routing a little bit simpler when you get down to the lower levels.
Ooh, Fiver's gotta be careful. A death here would be kind of bad.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you get that floor bombed before you leave this part of the dungeon. And, of course, we know the flippers are up here. Both of our top two runners are in some pretty dire health straits at this point.
And Naktaboker is going to do Aga 1 right now. Which is a little unfortunate considering how close he actually was to getting the hammer. So realistically, he could have saved a bunch of time here, just waiting.
Diesel is not going to try the bomb jump because Diesel only has a heart and a half.
Yeah, but he's going to go bowling with the bombs here and gets another pack of 1 there if he wants to pick it up, but chooses not to. Alright. Oh, no!
Oh, boy. No hook shot, no invincibility items. Ugh.
Yeah, that is another place where the logic accounts for the cape. It is a very niche scenario in which you might need the cape to get over there. Has to be careful, though. Diesel can't even finish this dungeon, I just realized.
Nope, no hammer.
And 3 bombs there.
Yeah, this Ice Palace dip is not going Diesel's way. Coming in, losing so much health in that Pingator room. No hammer, no Samaria, no hookshot, no bomb jump. Not looking that things are going to go Diesel's way at this turn through Ice Palace.
Yeah, there is some health here, but it's rather slow to pick up. We're seeing a blind fight on both Files and Duke Firebird's end. Files in phase 2. Very well executed so far.
Yep.
Ooh. Duke Firebird losing the pattern. And yes, there is a pattern to line. If you hit him on in the first frame possible, every single time, the fight's the same every single time, so it's a little scripted like that, but it is a very easy script to drop.
Yeah, Duke Firebird recovers quite nicely. Gets down a little low, keeps things exciting for us, but both Duke Firebird and Files have gotten done with blind.
And yes, all dungeons means that we have to get all the pendants, all the crystals, and defeat both versions of Aghanim. And important items that can unlock pendant dungeons, like, for example, let's just put on theoretical here that Ether is required for Misery Mire. That can be in Ganon's Tower.
Absolutely. So you'll have to complete Ganon's Tower and then head out, complete Mire before you hop down into the pyramid.
That's right. So an ideal seed would have you do all the dungeons, then Ganon's Tower, then Aga 1, then Ganon. And this was possible in this seed, but it was very convoluted.
That was a really swell bomb jump from Diesel's side to get across the room. Can't get back right now.
No, we'll have to.
Nope.
Here, there's. Oh, you can't get that through.
No.
That really is a huge time sink there for Diesel, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was not a great play. It's a bit rough. Files, meanwhile, got the ice rod from the graveyard ledge and displayed a little bit of displeasure there. Because we knew Files was in the area, right? Files got the hammer from King's Tomb, but Files must have done it from the light world rather than the dark world.
Yeah, and there is apparently a dog being heard. So, in terms of our go mode, we ideally would like another sword, but that's optional. We need the hookshot, we need the Case of Mario, and we need the flute. And maybe also ether. That's all we are missing right now. It looks like my co-commentator has left to tend to the barking.
I think the dog has calmed himself down at this point.
So Ack now has the boots. So the only runner who has currently not defeated Agate 1 on our feature floor is S Diesel. But S Diesel is also in a place where if they use the flippers to go north and check pod, we'll be actually in a really good spot to go get the hammer. And then can fight Agate 1 later.
Yeah. Without Samaria and the hookshot, I think you really want to do the bomb jump here.
You really do, yeah. There is a chance you can soft lock, but at the same time, he's only able to check one item regardless. He can't even finish the dungeon. So all Diesel is going to be able to check is this chest, which is just a small key.
Yeah, woof. So there's the silvers for Files.
And the red boomerang. I almost missed that.
Oh yes, gotta call out that red boomerang when you see it.
And it looks like Files will be the first one to turn in the super bomb.
Yeah, we've had the ability to do this for a little while now, and Files is going to be the first person to take advantage of that. You'll see here how having Aghanim dead and the mirror in our possession makes this trip a little easier.
That's right. This is arguably the intended way to do it. There is a way you can do it without ever using the mirror transition. But that requires the hammer, which we do have. And I want to say that Ack did the first chest and swamp, although I wasn't looking at his screen at the time, so I missed the item.
Ack did the first chest and swamp and got the compass.
So, really nothing good. And all you got for the big bomb is 220 rupees. I know that looks like 320, but you gotta remember that the bomb costs 100 in order to get over there.
Yep, so not the greatest return on the investment for buying that bomb. Files is going to be able to complete pod now.
So I'm trying to see, trying to look at the sea here from the outside and trying to piece together where we're supposed to go next. I think with the hammer in tow, there's one of two things we can do. First is we check Thieves Town's big chest, but I don't think that has anything important. Second,
one of our runners, Files, went into Thieves Town with the hammer. Big chest was just the map.
Okay. So that leaves the second thing, which is I think it's ice. I think Diesel was on the right track, but he was there a little too early.
Yeah, ice doesn't feel so great to me, because we don't have Hookshot or Samaria yet.
Although, the third play I just realized, the Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We can use the mirror to get up to the top, and then use the hammer to cross over to the east side of Death Mountain. I think that feels pretty good as a next play.
Yeah, hammer face as well. Yeah, nothing really good in Hype Cave except for those silvers, really. And Axe about to get his hammer. Not here, but over in King's Tomb.
It looks like Ack already got the hammer. Did the King's Tomb check first.
Alright. Swamp is also another play, and I think that's what's going to be on Axe's mind.
Yeah. Yep.
Although, this is a risk. And I will concede that. Because what are we missing?
We need Samaria. We need Flute, definitely. Axe still doesn't have the...
We don't have the hook shot.
We don't. That's right. We don't have the hook shot. Ooh.
So Swamp would not be an ideal play, but it looks like it's actually Big Bomb.
Yeah. So Ack was in the right part of the world, but the wrong dimension for the Ice Rod. The Ice Rod is in Graveyard Ledge, but Ack got King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks from the Light World.
Yeah, that's gonna be one off that Ack is leaving behind, which is unfortunate. And look at this.
Nope.
Ah, messed it up. That was an attempt at bomb duping right there. So gonna have to pay another 100 rupees to get it back. And meanwhile, we have defeated the Helmersword King over on Files' end. What is the big lizard drop hiding? Just a Bonkavasti upgrade. So yeah, I think the play is the mountain. I really do.
Yep. I think so.
Oh, apparently I tried it earlier, but completely messed up. Forgot that Aga 1 was required. Poor Ack. Wasting so much money. He's gonna get it back at least. But it's not gonna be too much of value as a result. And yeah, it looks like Foz will be climbing the mountain.
Yeah, so we'll see quite a bit on East Death Mountain.
And actually, we're also seeing the Big Bomber Duke Firebird.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see quite a bit on the east side of Light Death Mountain, a little bit on Dark Death Mountain as well. We do not have the hookshot just yet. Oh, Files took an inadvertent fall off that ledge there. Files was in the super speed state, so you automatically go over the ledge as soon as you brush up against it. So,
yeah. And that super speed, the way we're using it is considered a minor glitch, but there are major glitch applications to it, which we are not allowed to use. Trust me, if you saw the Overworld Glitches tournament, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And yeah, I'm liking this routing from Files here.
oh, I'm not liking that Dead Rock though. Ugh.
No, I'm not liking that either. So what Files is going to do is Files is going to get all the items here in Light Dark World. Going to get Super Bunny and the first chest of Dark Death Mountain. Of Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, Hookshot Cave we can get to.
More importantly, actually, no, we don't have the Scan of Samaria. Never mind. I almost jumped the gun there.
Yeah, we're not doing Turtle Rock dips. Not quite yet.
He can at least check Turtle Rock and open it.
Yeah.
Early. But he can't enter. He needs the Cave of Samaria in the first room. Unless he picked it up and we completely missed it. Nope, he doesn't have it. But yeah, mirroring here, and this is good because if you mirror here, you can go into this into Paradox Cave, as we call it. Get the 7 chests here. Leave the way you came. And then go in and get Super Bunny's chests. And there's the hook shot!
There it is! Wow.
So Hammer is required to get hook shot. Wow, what a seed.
Yeah, this has been a great progression of items. This is a really fun-looking seed.
It feels a little linear to me, really. But to each their own. Bottle found at Paradox Cave's upper 5. Along the blue cane, which unfortunately would have helped Diesel out a fair bit. And yeah, just gonna drop down, push the block, and leave the cave, and then start checking Dark Death Mountain. And Diesel now with the boots. Duke Firebird looks to be heading towards Pod. We'll get the boots soon enough as well. And critical acupressure to the face of the Helmosaur King as Ack has silvered Helmosaur King to defeat him.
Yep, 1 silver arrow to that jewel takes out the Helmosaur King, which is interesting when you think about it, because there's no reason for...
Ether found by files. Now it doesn't matter what the medallions are for our two, for Meyer and Turtle Rock. We have them all.
Yep. So we are circling around towards go mode. We just need a Cane of Samaria and a flute now.
And with the hookshot, we can actually check all of the hookshot cave chests. There's the mushroom. We just need really the Cane of Samaria and the flute. Bug hitching net. And bombs. So nothing important here.
Yep, File's gonna head on over and give us a check of Spike Cave now.
Yeah, Spike Cave is going to be checked here, like you said. It is basically going to poke his feet until we get here. It has enough health that can just tank it fully, just for some money. And it looks like we are just missing, like we said, the flute and the Cane of Samaria. Which, unfortunately, means we can't do fake powder, which would have been great.
Yep.
And we're seeing Ack in Ice Palace, so we'll be able to see what all of our items are around here. Because we can full clear the dungeon.
Yes, indeed. Ack is going to want to do that bomb jump.
Yeah, I would do the bomb jump in this instance because there is a very, very niche scenario in Ice Palace in which it makes the Cane of Samaria required. And doing a bomb jump circumvents that possibility completely. And in case anyone's wondering what I'm getting at, a small key can be on Cold Stare. And in that instance, if that is the case, you cannot complete the puzzle normally in this dungeon. And it expects you to have the Cane of Samaria in order to circumvent the puzzle.
Okay, Ack is not going to give us a bomb jump. Ack is going to give us a hover.
And successful.
Very nice.
And people might say hovering is cheating, but that is actually a very high skill trick.
Yeah, hovering, very high skill. Requires quite a bit of practice. And we do consider it a minor glitch, so it's totally allowed.
Yes. And the only thing that makes hovering so unique is that it is not only multiple frame-perfect inputs, but it's arguably one of the things that emulators just can't seem to handle, so...
Yeah, the way hovering works is the game only drops you into a pit if you're on the pit for 2 frames, and the game doesn't check if you're on a pit while you're dashing, so you have to dash and let off the dash button for exactly 1 frame every 30 frames at the most. So the way people usually do it, they put their 2 fingers... Ooh!
Cane of Samaria!
There is definitely a required item there. Most people, as I was saying, you get your 2 fingers and you rub them over the A button so that you dash and release very quickly, and the game never checks to see if you're over a pit, so you never fall down the pit, and you can move slowly across it.
And yeah, with the Canis of Mario, we are just a flute from Go mode, and that could be as deep as Ganon's Tower on Molar's chest for all we know.
Absolutely. So we are in Go to Ganon's Tower mode, but not finish the game Go mode.
That is correct. Because even though we have everything we need to finish all of the crystal dungeons at this point in time, we don't have all the items we need to finish the goal. We are missing the flute for that. Which might be here in Swamp, as Files is checking that.
Yep, Files is going to be heading straight to the back, and we'll consider doing the left side afterwards.
But yes, for those who might be tuning in a little bit late here, we are doing an all dungeon seed. So that means we need to get all the crystals, we need to beat Aga 2 and Aga 1, and we also need all 3 pendants. And only then, after we've done all that, will Ganon be vulnerable to us being able to defeat him and claiming the Triforce for the goal to complete the sea. Red mail.
Red mail, not bad.
Swamp. And it doesn't look like Zelda's sprite changed at all, but it's actually the jewel on her tiara that has changed. It is a very subtle change, but it is there. And Diesel now with a hammer heading back to Pod. Duke Firebird, the last RPG for to get it. And he's gonna feel... And this really feels bad for Duke Firebird, I feel. Because he was the first one to defeat Aga 1. He could have had this, but didn't find the Moon Pearl so fairly late. And if he had went straight to Pod after defeating it, getting it, would have arguably been the first one to have the hammer.
Yep.
Of our feature 4, at least.
Yep, and instead we saw Files take that distinction with just some great routing to that east part of the Dark World.
The east part of the map in general.
Files sticks Argus with 1 arrow, gets him done.
And Ack is finished with Cold Stare. And half magic. Half magic on Cold Stare.
Yeah.
So that's gonna help a lot, considering Ack is heading straight up the mountain to Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
And this is good because this gives him the hookshot as well.
Yep, this is absolutely a great play, right decision on Ack's part.
And we just saw a hammer jump there from S Diesel. I barely caught that. Not too fond of what he found, but
Duke Firebird is going to show us a seldom seen thing and is going to walk out of Spike Cave.
Now, he's walking out of Spike Cave. But I'm going to drop a little fun fact here. Did you know you can actually get spin speed on those little stairs in front of the chest in Spike Cave?
I did not know that, but that's really cool and great, and now I know it.
Yeah, it is very tricky to pull off considering it's a small space, and you have to make sure that you don't step on the spikes after you get it. But after you get it, you can just switch over to the cape, turn it on, and just speed your way out of the Spike Cave if you don't want to do a save and quit.
I like that.
Of course, you obviously need the boost for that. And the hookshot setup works as well. we saw the medallion necessary for Turtle Rock. It is Bombos. Act doing the right thing here and going to check all the chests on Dark Death Mountain and East Death Mountain, both light and dark, before going into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Bombos was, if I recall correctly, in the big chest of Skull Woods.
That's right. So, Skull Woods. The order was go to Skull Woods.
Good. I was just about to ask if Duke Firebird picked that up and it's not on his tracker, and Duke Firebird has answered that for us and is opening Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, I think... Yeah. I think all of our runners of Accession and Diesel have 2 medallions. I'm not sure if Diesel's got the one from Sick Kid or not. We'll have to see his menu here in a little bit, because with the Silver Arrows in tow, he is going to snipe the Crystal. Yep, he has Quake as well, so all runners have 2 medallions right now. At least 2, I should say. And what's over to the face? Diesel's down. No, unmoved. His helm's working. And there's the blue cane for Ack. Oh no. Oh no. I just realized something.
What did you realize, Wolflink?
Look at Axe Tracker.
Yep. Yeah. Ack never got that ice rod. Yeah, ice rod was in the graveyard ledge, and Ack didn't get it.
Well, this could be a good thing for him.
How do you reckon?
Can save Turtle Rock for Fort Gaines Tower.
That's true, provided Ack chooses not to dip in at this point.
Yeah.
So Ack is heading away from Turtle Rock and towards Spike Cave, and uses a nice little hook shot there to avoid taking damage from that Lionel.
Yeah, this is smart for Ack, thank goodness. The thing is, though, that puts Ack at somewhat of a disadvantage, I feel, though.
Yeah, that graveyard ledge is a location that you really don't have much opportunity to route in.
He did have the opportunity to route it in, but the thing is, he isolated it, so...
Yeah.
That's going to be fairly tricky to get back to.
Yeah, it's not a big time expenditure, it's just a knowledge expenditure. Ack needs to know to go there. Starting here...
If he goes up, this is great.
He's not going up.
Gonna take the hook shot and go to Swamp. Which is reasonable.
Yeah, that's a reasonable play. Yeah, we can't fault Ack for doing that. We know where the ice rod is, and Ack does not.
And to answer someone's question in chat, yes! Items that can be used for pendant can be in Ganon's Tower, so we could have the flute up there, all the way up in Moldar's chest for all we know.
Yeah, we could see it in the seldom checked Ganon's Tower big chest.
That is also a potential location. And nice crowd there from Files, getting all of the puffs of Cold Steel in one little neat row. They got away from him, though. And this is where the fight gets a little bit annoying. And now we're seeing both Ack and Duke in Swamp. Nothing of importance was here, really.
Yeah.
Arguably, Files is in the prime position here.
I would say that, yeah.
Because now with Samaria, with Hookshot, and with the Ice Rod, Files can go to Turtle Rock, and then go straight into Gan's Tower.
Yep, and then do a nice full clear of Ganon's Tower looking for that flute.
Yeah. I dare say Files is in go mode in terms of going to Gan's Tower.
Yeah.
And is in the driver's seat in terms of getting to the finish line here for this seed. I personally feel though that the true troll item that we're gonna be having is third sword.
Yeah.
Brandon, we don't necessarily need a third sword to finish the scene, but just having Tempered for Ganon is just so much better, and so much better for Trinix as well.
Yeah, if the flute doesn't show up by the basement of Ganon's Tower, we're gonna check a lot of chests there, so there's a possibility that we'll grab a sword there.
Yeah, we pretty much... Oh, wait, did we ever check Bombo's tablet? I don't recall.
Yeah, I believe Ack checked Bombos. It was a green rupee.
Okay, that's what the other one was. So Bombos have it about as worth as Zelda's chest. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, and as chat's pointing out, I don't think we've seen the mushroom turn in either. Now that we have the cane, we can do fake powder before turning in that mushroom.
And that's probably gonna be Files' ordering. Actually, no, it won't be Files' ordering, because at that point, we'll most likely have the powder in that case. And first chest big key here. We are going to be full clearing Turtle Rock, so leaving a chest behind is not ideal here.
Yeah.
Considering that we only need that flute. And to
Yeah.
leave it behind because we want a Gomo GT is... Words! Leaving it behind because we are trying to Gomo Turtle Rock is not a good play.
Yeah, you really don't save that much time at all doing a go mode clear of Turtle Rock compared to doing a full clear.
Yeah, the only time you save, arguably, is just... Hey, I don't have to open up 3 chests.
Well,
There's Tempered.
yeah, that's a nice find. And I imagine, unless one of our runners finds the flute before going to Turtle Rock, that everybody's going to be picking up that sword.
Well, everyone's going to be picking up regardless because you don't know which chest has the first
That's right.
key.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So everyone will at least have Tempered for Ganon, which is good. Don't have to do spins. Spins are kind of annoying on Ganon, to be perfectly honest.
Yep, you have to do a lot of them. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of knockback. Yuck.
Tinder had a small key. It had to have. And of course, folks, this is a daily race for a reason. There's about 20 other entrants besides these 4 we are featuring today. And just to give you a heads up, no one has crossed the finish line just yet.
Yep, we actually, I'm looking at it right now. We've got a total of 30 in this race.
Nice. Good strong showing.
no one has finished, and an hour and 24 in, nobody's forfeit yet either. So that's nice.
Shows you how kind the seed is, really, if you think about it. That no one has felt like they've been trolled by the seed. It's just really been a choice of routing, really. Alright. Mimic Cave being checked along the way. Files not finding the flute there. And Duke is finally going back to Desert Palace. Oh! That's a rarity.
Yeah, a little bit too much mashing to get that cutscene again. So Ak is going to show us the fake powder. He's going to use the Cane of Samaria with no magic, switch over to the mushroom, and get
Just
from the
Harpies.
bat. Ah, okay.
You a little behind there, Firewood?
Yeah, I fixed it. They were good.
Alright. Alright, laser bridge check here. 20 rupees. One of them is a small key. Uncle's bombs. There's the powder.
The real powder.
And there's the small key. So that was 3 items. Combined with the tempered, so are those we found? Yeah, okay, we found all the items here in Turtle Rock. And
Ak
Ak will find the mushroom now.
Ak will find the ice rod now.
Ice rod, sorry, my mistake. So, cleaning up his checks there, which is good. Alright, so it's gonna be 5 slashes per head. The wands do deal damage, so it'll be a little bit less on the on the ice rod head.
Yep.
And dumb me as a kid thought you only had to use the rods, you could not use your sword.
Well, if you could do that, you gotta bring some potions to heal yourself up if you don't have half magic. You think even if you do have half magic, you don't have enough magic to just use the rods?
Yeah. And I did bring potions to this. Anyway, quick kill there. There's the compass, and there is the last crystal. So, folks, we have a game we'd like to play here. We're not going to run into the bot or anything, but tell us what chest do you think the big key in Ganis Tower is, and also give us a chest do you think where the flute will be in Ganis Tower.
You have a guess today, Wolflink?
The seat's been fairly nice. I'm going to say it's about middle of the road. 12 for the big key. And as far as the flute goes, I've been saying it, I might as well call it Moldorm's chest.
Yeah, well, okay, you'll take Moldorm's chest, I will take flute in the big chest, and I'll say the big key is on 16.
Okay. Huh? Wait. Files is not going up to Ganon's tower. Did we miss the flute?
Did we miss the flute? I don't think so. Files might be checking the fake powder and then the real powder and then the mushroom before heading into Ganon's tower.
Okay, makes sense.
And Files probably left the portal up there near Ganon's tower, so it won't be too difficult to get back.
And yes, flute is required because, once again, this is all dungeons. You need all the crystals and all the pendants.
Yep, and the flute can absolutely be in Ganon's tower, since Fire is a pendant. Yep.
Yeah. And just to make sure everyone is also clear on this, you also need to kill both versions of Aghanim, which all of our runners, except for Diesel, has done, actually.
Yeah, so we were chatting earlier in the seed how Aghanim is not required this seed except for the goal. All of our other runners killed Aghanim and used that to get easily to Pod, to get the boots, to get the hammer from King's Tomb. But Diesel might be able to just hold off on Aga and do it at the very end. Kill Aga 2, get to the pyramid, mirror over, kill Aga 1, and then head back to kill Ganon.
And we have a little bit of information here from IRC. We do have a forfeit.
Yep. Machinax has forfeit. I must have forgotten a spot. Yeah, it happens to all of us.
I wasn't going to call him out on that, but yeah. I think I need to get a better look at Act's menu, but I think Act did finish Swamp. I'm not sure. Because he was in Swamp the same time Duke Firebird was.
Yeah, I can't imagine why Swamp wouldn't be. We'll take a look at Act's menu. The trackers, the software, not the people. The trackers are the website that we use to track is known to sometimes eat clicks and things like that. So our trackers are doing their best. They are keeping track of everything. It's usually the website's fault when something goes wrong.
And you can see their names right there: Storm Technico and Derek Sharna. I hope I pronounced it right. Those are our two trackers tonight, so shout out to them.
Yes. Tracking is very important, not nearly as easy as you might think it is. And especially important in an all dungeon seed because we need pretty much every progression item.
Yeah. And it is a little daunting to have one tracker push the buttons for all 4 restreams, so we do have one tracker doing 2 of them and the other tracker doing the other 2. And Diesel's getting a little bit of revenge there on the Pen Gators here in Ice Palace, being able to hookshot them. And Files is now heading over to Ganon's Tower. So I don't know where all our guesses are, but
yes, if you ended up winning your guess, just let us know on our system, and we'll like pat you on the back or something.
Yeah, this is just for fun, really. That was an interesting... What? Oh,
well. Windows update. We must restart your computer 16 times in a row, right?
First chest small key, second chest peace out. So wait, was that? Was that? Was that Files who had that go off, or was that two Firebird? I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Anyway.
Left side, or right side.
Right side, yeah.
20. Nothing important.
Yes, we've made 6 checks and nothing good has shown up yet.
Oh, but you know what? I think I realized why File set flashed that on screen. Didn't realize GT was open. And we got a subscription from Twitch Prime from Trace3. Thank you for that. Alright, map. Compass. In the same mirror shield. And small key. So, what I think happened is Files forgot that he got the 7th crystal there in Turtle Rock and then left GT alone. And then, once he was in Turtle Rock, he flashed a message on screen going over his mistake, pretty much. And we're seeing closer fight from Duke Firebird. Diesel's already done with that fight.
File self-assessment. Oh, act.
Act, you crazy person. He's making good progress, too.
You jinxed him.
Ah!
File self-assessment, maybe I'm dumb, but File's in quite a nice lead here.
Yeah, gonna be checking what we call the random room, because you don't only come here in the randomizer. There's really only ammunition over here in the vanilla game. And there's our big key. And hey, the regular boomerang as well.
I think that put that in number 14. The big key.
I think you're right.
Well done.
And pedestal was not required today, folks. Just as a reminder, it was just a heart piece.
So now we're going to continue looking for the flute here in the basement of Ganon's tower.
Yeah. So we're not done yet with checking items here. You're probably thinking, why is he not going up there? We still need to do Mystery Mire. And hey, Bob, how's it going?
Bye, Bob.
Nope, Bob just teleported. There's Butter! So this is most likely going to be defeat the Armos Knights, or Ice Armos as we call them, then check Big Chest, after checking where the vanilla big key would normally be.
Yeah, and I think it's very likely Files is not going to check the tile room chest.
Might still. There's a shovel. Oh, jeez, shovel. One of the flute is vanilla.
It could very well be.
Just one last curveball thrown at you at the end. Not checking the big chest.
Not checking the big chest or the tile room. And
Ack is now in Ganon's tower, checking left side. This will save him a little bit of time. Overall, in terms of ascending, but...
Yeah, unless Ack goes back and then checks the right side looking for the flute.
Yeah. So we're getting fairly close to the end of this seed. And you know what's good about having Misery Mire as our last dungeon? We can do a save and quit, given Files' current position.
Yeah?
So, I guess fighting Aghanim one earlier was actually the good play overall in the end, considering what we have yet to find our flute.
Yeah.
And that is a good question raised in the chat. Why didn't he check the big chest? If I had to guess, and this is a long shot guess, muscle memory kicked in. And even then, if it's one chest, he's gonna basically assume that no one else is gonna check that chest. And if it comes down to it, he'll check tire room and the big chest at the same time. Right now, there's still 4 chests up there in Ganon's tower at the very top. There's the big key rack. And we're seeing Helmazor King fall.
Yep, Duke Firebird using the quite common strat of using the sword to extend the hammer hitbox and clink hammering up into Helmazor's mask.
It also removes a little bit of knockback. Oh no! Did you see what I didn't see over on Duke Firebird's end? Duke Firebird just has Turtle Rod to go, but doesn't
no ice rod.
have the ice rod.
Yeah.
It is nearby to Duke Firebird's credit. Just has to go to Graveyard Ledge.
Yep,
but does it go there?
Yeah, you have to remember to make that play.
And he might think that Ice Rod's in Turtle Rock.
Well, he's got the mirror, but he's not using it. He's going for a bit of a dash here, so this could be... You'd want the...
There's the flute!
Crossing over... Alrighty then.
Flute was in the Helmazor chest and the top of Ganon's tower.
So, not quite the Moldorm 2 chest, but awfully close.
Yeah. I'm not going to count it, though, for my own humility.
Yeah.
And that is a true go mode for Files. Just needs to turn on the flute, go to Mire, defeat Vitreous, and then go defeat Ganon. And then it'll be a GG. Of course, going to finish Yaga 2 first. And opening a Moldorm's chest for the fun of it. And it has the 10 bomb booster. Yeah, if that was a chest count, I'd say that was 24. 23 being the big chest. And we are... And with that flute, actually, we found everything that we really care about in this seed.
Yep, we got a full tracker.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have all 4 bottles, but details.
We've seen all 4, I mean, Duke Firebird has all 4 bottles, so we know where they all are.
Alright, I'll count that. And... with Files down, Aga 2, it is not quite time to fight the pig. Our goal has not been cleared yet. We need to defeat both versions of Aga. We needed all the crystals. But we also need that last pendant from Misery Mire, because we needed all the pendants as well.
Yeah, but we're not going to have any trouble with Mire. We got those silver arrows to take care of Vitreous quite easily.
Yes. So the final item that we're missing is, of course, the Mire Big Key. We still need that, no matter what, because even if we were able to somehow skip around those doors, of the final door leading to Vitreous is, in fact, a big key door. And it's an hour 45 in, but time to salute, I guess. Swag Duck has been released. And it turns out it was Ether to get into Mystery Mario this time. Now, is Files going to piece the fans once again? Are we going to toss the bird into the lake? Nope. Because he knows he is in go mode. He wants to finish.
Yep. Files has had enough fun in games. It's time to get serious.
And once again, folks, I will mention this. No one has finished yet. Files could be the winner of this race. Never mind. Someone has just crossed the finish line, and that winner is Pink Kitty Rose with a time of 1:47.24. And we're seeing a lot of GGs for PKR there in the chat. I think... Well, we found the big key now, so it is a Godmire. So that was not a very... Anything came into play, really. So this was well and truly just the timing and routing around Aga 1, really, this entire seed.
Yeah. We see Diesel up there on the top, just having not done Aga 1. Only of our runners not to do Aga 1. Just got the hammer kind of late and is 3 dungeons away. So Actaboker has the flute now and is not gonna fight Moldorm 2. Files with a beautiful silver arrow Vitreous fight.
Yes.
Who's finished the 10th of 10 dungeons.
Yep, it is now. With all the goals met, it is now time to fight the pig. Butter Sword and Silver Arrows in hand. Pretty straightforward fight. 6 slashes a phase. Get into phase 3. Break the floor down. And then the darkness technique. Keep the torches lit. 1 slash, 4 silvers. And is sitting pretty with, I believe, what, 30 plus silver arrows? Yeah, it's very, very unlikely that Files is going to miss 30 silver shots. But in the just sort of freak chance that Files misses enough shots that he's forced to do silverless strats, it will be 3 spins per missed arrow as Ganon begins to teleport away in that 4th phase. And we have a 2nd place finisher as well, Gloin, 149.46. And it looks like Files will be the third person finish. Getting a quick silverless hit in there. That was not intentional. And this looks like a good triple opportunity here. Almost fell off. Nope, double. But there we go. Could you use the chat for Files? Wow, that was a voice crack if I've ever had one. But yes, get your GGs in chat for Files. Who has crossed the finish line and is taking a pedestal position here. Third place with a time of 1:50.56.
GG to Files.
Ack is right behind him.
Yep, Ack is going to do that Godmire, and we'll be off to Ganon pretty much the same way. Save and quit right to the pyramid.
And almost 1 minute later, Boyne is our fourth place finisher. So let's see if we can get Files in here for an interview, shall we?
I think we shall.
And we actually have a fifth place finisher, Makan, 1:52.29.
These are all spectacular times for an old dungeon seed.
And for those wondering what was on pedestal, once again, it was a piece of heart. We had that information from within the first 10 minutes because we had the book at Link's house. And Act is attempting to hover this mire.
It would secure this mire status as a very godly mire indeed.
There we go.
Nice.
And we do have Files in the setup room, so shall we pull him in? There he is. GG to you, Files. Coming in third in this race. And
oh my god.
What a seed, really.
I got so lucky. The whole moon pearl thing in the beginning of the seed was fine, like whatever. But when I got the hammer from dipping into pod, because I had left the portal over there because I was trying to do like pod and Eastern even though I didn't have the moon pearl. When I got out of the when I got done with the moon pearl fine and went to the dark world to go start, I grabbed the King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks and I realized I had orphaned the graveyard ledge accidentally. I wasn't even thinking about it. So I went to do the left side dark world clear and picked up the flippers and in Thieves area and realized I had forgotten to do the graveyard ledge. So I was like, oh crap. I can either do the left side dark world clear, which is just a ton of locations and it's really smooth, leads down to the swamp area. Maybe I'll find the hook shot there. But on a whim, I decided to go back to do the graveyard ledge and then do like Zora Catfish. And oh my god, am I glad I did. Because the ice rod was there.
Yeah, that was really what gave you the lead, but also was your routing with the mirror portal to getting you those boots early on. And thus finding the hammer. That would give you an edge here in this race. And really...
Yeah, the forced double dip pod in retrospect was, tying that in with the moon pearl. Even though you didn't have it, because you had to do Aghanim. If this hadn't been an all dungeon seed, I don't think a lot of people would have done that.
You're right. And by the way, Salty Fry, 6th place with a time of 1:54.45. But yeah, something else that was kind of in your favor was just the timing of Aghanim, really. That was the main... I think that was the critical point of this Seeds routing, was the timing of Aghanim, because there were so many different times that Aghanim could have been dealt with for Aga 1, and I think the way you set it up was the perfect time.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how that worked out.
I mean, ideally, you want to save him for last, but in this specific instance, with the flute being in Ganon's Tower, it was just better for you to do Myers, save and quit, and then you'd be back on the pyramid.
Yeah, I was actually, like, this is the first all dungeon seed I've done, so I was like, wait a minute, I can just save and quit out of Mire and it'll put me right back on the pyramid. Like, I'd forgotten how convenient that was. But yeah, I think I definitely lucked out a little bit. The whole left side Dark World loop with Mirror not having a single thing. Like, I spent all of Turtle Rock panicking that Flute was going to be on the left side and I was doing all of this for nothing. And then when I got done with Turtle Rock, I forgot that that was my 4th crystal. So I was like, all right, well, Powder has to be the Flute because it's like a standard or an open seed. And then I went down there and it wasn't there, and I like, crap.
Hold on a moment here. I have something to say. Activoker finishes in 7th place with a time of 1:56.28, and Waiting Words getting sniped by Ack with a time of 1:56.30.
Wow, the snipes are real.
So GG's to Activoker, the second of our feature 4 to finish. You two were actually having sort of a little grudge going on with, if I was reading those file names right as well.
Ack's a friend of mine, so we like to give each other crap.
And you kind of beat yourself up a little bit from what we were gathering because of the GT.
Yeah, I just when I didn't get Flute and Turtle Rock, I was like, oh crap! It was one of the 5,000 places I skipped, and then it was right after I turned in the Powder and it didn't have anything, and I was like, I started going into panic mode. I'm like, well, if it's left side loop, I just lost, so let's go do like the mushroom. And then right after I turned in the mushroom, I'm like, wait a minute, 7 crystals, Ganon's Tower. So then I like skipped Tower Room and did a bunch of other gambles that paid out.
Yeah, Tyroom didn't have anything. It was a piece of heart. I don't think we've seen the big chest, but it was right there in the Helmsor room, which paid off in spades for you.
Oh god, I'm glad it wasn't in the big key chest, because it totally slipped my mind. Like, I got done with Ice Armos and just pieced out.
Yeah, we were assuming that was muscle memory at that point.
It was, 100%. I got so lucky this scene.
And we did see the big chest. It was actually just 50 rupees here. And let's see if we can get Ack in here for an interview. I believe my co-conference just asked him. And meanwhile, 9th place, Vantalis, 158.42. So the runners are starting to trickle in here a little bit. So yeah, you really could have done Aghanim at any time with this seed, because where the flippers were, where the hammer was, where the boots were.
Yeah, and in fact, one of our runners on stream, S Diesel, has not done Aghanim 1 yet, is in Ganon's Tower right now.
And saving it is kind of ideal, because once you're done with Ganon's Tower, you can mirror and then go straight to do Aga 1. It's because it's just nice and clean routing in that way. But sometimes you don't have that option, but in this case you did. But in this case, it saves you a little bit of time, because you can just go straight to getting the flute online, go straight to Mire, and then do a save and quit, and just be on the pyramid anyway.
Yeah, that whole thing actually ended up working out really well.
Yeah, like I said, I believe the key routing on the seed was Aga 1, and it specifically was the timing of when you did it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had to. This was a forced double dip into pod for the boots, because you had to go get the hammer that was boots locked. So
Yes.
Anybody that did that earlier, like I suspect PKR probably did that. Although she's so good, she probably hundoed the entire game and still beat me, even though I skipped a whole bunch of crap.
Yes, PKR was not one of our feature 4, so we didn't get to see that, but very respectable time there. All the same.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a fun seed. All Dungeons is nice to play. This is the first one I played. It tickles your brain a little bit differently. You know, like stuff like being able to go into GT and still be looking for progression items is very clearly not something I was used to thinking about. Cost me some time.
If I'm not mistaken, we are joined now by Acta Boker. GG to you as well.
GG.
GG, Ak.
So, we've been talking about this for a little while, and we've come to as far as I'm concerned, this seed boiled down to Aga 1, and the timing of when you executed it.
I guess because they would go into pod earlier, I would assume, to get the hammer faster.
That, and also, when was a good time to do it over, considering where that flute was?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like Aga 1 was definitely important, but like I think the specific condition was how soon were you willing to go into pod without the hammer? Which
Right.
if you tied it in with Aga 1, that was like the sweetest way to do it. But you could have very easily have done, you could have just dipped into pod and like immediately after getting your Dark World access.
And in fact, that is actually not the case because there was no way to get to Palace of Darkness without the flippers, which were in Thieves Town in that instance.
Right. There was a way to do it. It was just like those other things to do.
With Aga 1, yeah.
Diving, completable dungeon.
Yeah, the fastest way was to do Aga 1 in this case because you had to go through Thieves Town, and then you had to go all the way around the Dark World just to get over to Palace of Darkness. So arguably Aga was the faster way to get to the boots.
Right.
And you used those boots to great effect in a few instances.
Uh,
Did you hover the Godmire, Ak?
I don't know.
Yes, he did.
He did. That's my boy.
I messed
He
it up,
also
though.
he also tried to hover all the way to Turtle Rock.
Well,
Yeah,
All the way to Trinex.
Ak, you got like halfway across towards Trinex before you fell. That was quite impressive.
I don't know.
Oh,
you guys must have
You
been watching
swag hovered
somebody else.
Trinex?
You guys must have been watching somebody else. Wasn't me.
You were the only one on the restream who was hovering. Back next try.
Got
But
the
yeah.
nameplates mixed up then.
But yeah, you did some fairly good routing here, but the main thing I think that slowed you down was the ice rod. I feel. Just because of the way you set it up, you kind of isolated it, so you didn't really check until very late.
Oh god, did you do the same thing I did? Did you do the boots checks right after saving Queen Sanctuary and then orphaning Graveyard Ledge?
Yeah, I mean the hammer unlocks so much, and I mean, well, you got the boots, then you went and checked those. It locked quite a bit, so it didn't really seem like a good idea to go back there just for like one location when I had, 3 dungeons to finish.
Oh yeah, it was for me. I did the same thing, but finding flippers in Thieves Town made me realize the error of my ways. So I took the flippers up, did Graveyard Ledge, and then went to like Catfish Zora, and then ended up going elsewhere. Like I skipped the entire Left World Dark World loop. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Alright,
I didn't have a single chest that was not checked up until the flute.
Alright, so a couple of things I want to mention here. First off, we have 4 more finishers. Trussell, 20139. Haiku type, 203 flat. Walsh, 20314, getting sniped. And Frostbite 3030, 20344. That is 10th through 13th place.
Well, that's gonna be it for me. GG Ak. This was a fun seed. I might have to do more all dungeons in the future.
Yes. All dungeons is kind of an interesting thing, especially when you have, you gotta keep in mind that Aga 1. That's really it. And like I said, and I'm gonna just beat a dead horse here, really. Aga 1 was, the timing of it really was the key to this race, I feel. Because you could do it sooner, you could have done it later. And it really just didn't matter up until Meyer.
Yeah, I would imagine flute was probably everybody's go mode. If it wasn't, I don't think they were playing the right seed.
Yeah, I think Flute had to be go mode. I can't imagine how else he would have done this.
I'm sure Act knows a few ways, but those are not in the realm of no major glitches.
Yeah. Our top 2 runners, both progressing through Ganon's tower here.
Yes.
Duke Firebird a little bit behind, finishing up the gauntlet right here. Diesel about to get the flute. Diesel, though, still has to do Aga 1.
That's right. However, can just do Aga 1 as soon as he leaves and then go do the flute. But really, Diesel is actually arguably in a worse position, I feel, because it's not going to be exactly streamlined doing Aga 1, getting the flute online, and then going to Meyer. No matter what, there's going to be at least one extra transition to the dark, from light to dark.
Yeah.
And Sea Falcon, 14th, time of 2:05:49. So nearly half of our field has come in. And yeah, this is a fairly nice seed considering we only had 1 forfeit overall in this tournament, really. But yeah, this was a really good seed, strong showing from you as well. And there's Aga 2 down for Diesel. But yeah, anything you want to add about the seed here that I've overlooked?
I believe Ak has already left us.
Oh. I'm looking at IRC. I don't have the Discord showing us who's in the call. I should probably fix that.
Yes.
There you go.
Files and Ak have both left, so you're just stuck with me, Wolflink.
I didn't realize Ak had left. My bad. And 15th place has been claimed by B Mao. M-A-O. $208.05 for that time, and following up that, 208.26 is Apathy Duck, great name, and then a familiar name at 208.36 for Senador. But Diesel getting the flute online. And yeah, this is where Diesel's routing is going to suffer just a little bit.
Yep.
Because has to finish this dungeon, has to finish Aga 1. Finishing Aga 1, or finishing Meyer now, prevents him from having the save and quit to the pyramid. So we'll have to go all the way around to Link's house and then do Aga 1. So this is the cleaner of the 2 options. The other option was to do Aga 1 immediately, then mirror off the pyramid, do a save quit, get the food line, then do Meyer, and then save and quit again. So this is the one that saves the most time, but it just doesn't seem to flow as well, as my opinion. And there was actually a comment from PQR regarding this race. Let me see if I can figure out where that went. There it is. 183 out of 216. Found the flow and stuck to it for a clean hundo. So, found more items than both of our two runners that finished and still came in first. That is impressive.
Yep, that's just a testament to some great routing on PKR's part to get those checks done.
And Diesel attempting to do hovering across the gap here. And someone else is also across the finish line. And NY Rambler, 18th place, time of 2:10:06. I'm not sure if I called that one out yet. But yeah, it looks like Duke Firebird is going to eke out a victory over Diesel here in terms of our feature 4 here finishing.
Yeah, that the AGA 1 tower climb is going to add, a couple of minutes to Diesel over Duke Firebird.
Yeah, who can just save and quit after being done with Meyer and just go straight to Ganon.
Duke Firebird is going to be inventory completionist, though. Duke Firebird is going to have every last thing.
Yeah, this is a true hundo for him. And in 19th with a time of 2:11:23, BBB Kermit. So the top 2/3 of our field have come in. So we're down to 10. Alright, Diesel has finished up Misery Meyer and is now going to go fight AGA 1. And in the meantime, folks, OO Jam, 20th place, time of 2:12:55. So we got a really good mix here for our feature 4, I would say. Wouldn't you, Firewood?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've seen a good display of skill, a good display of luck in some cases, and I think it's been a pretty good selection here. Duke Firebird, of course, puts down Vitreous without too much challenge with those silver arrows. So Duke Firebird will be able to save and quit right here, as you mentioned, and head straight to Ganon.
And meanwhile, Diesel is still halfway through AGA Tower. I think my assessment of the seed is spot on. I think AGA 1's timing was critical to seed. Because Diesel saved it for last, and it didn't exactly pay out on the end.
Nope.
I mean, yes, it would normally be an ideal play, but in this case, this specific case, you were better off doing it to make it so that it was your early pod access.
Yeah.
Roach 788, 21st, time of 2:15:12. We have 9 runners left to finish, including our 2 featured here on screen. No, wait, no, 8 runners. I'm sorry. I forgot about the forfeit we had earlier.
Duke Firebird grabs a double there and gets one more arrow into... Oh, no. Gets a double, a single. There we go. Duke Firebird has finished third of our featured runners. We'll get you a time shortly.
Yes, GG's to Duke Firebird. And what place did he grab? It was 22nd place with a time of 2:15:37.
GG to Duke Firebird for bringing that one in.
Yes, let's see if we can get him in here for an interview. Oh, he's actually right here. GG's to you, Duke Firebird, and you have no idea how close you are for S Diesel here, the last hour feature 4. S Diesel is fighting Aga 1 right now as we speak.
Oh, he saved Aga 1 for last.
Yes, and the way I've been calling this seed here is I think the timing of Aga 1 was the most important thing in terms of routing. And in this case,
Yeah.
I think Diesel admittedly made the wrong choice. I think you had to do Aga 1 early, and you did.
Yeah, that was my thought process, actually. When I went into Hyrule Castle, I was like, okay, I
it's
got
actually
sword,
right
I
here.
got the lamp.
GG's to you,
All
Duke
right,
Firebird,
if I get
and
the cape or
you have no idea how
Master
close you are
Sword, I'm
for
going
S
in.
Diesel here, the
Hold
last
on.
hour feature 4. S Diesel is fighting Aga 1 right now as we speak. We might have an echo here. There we go.
I was gonna say, make sure your Mark Maze done.
But yeah, the thing that was, but yeah, like I said, the timing here was it, but the thing is, the Moon Pearl for you was what tripped you up, I think, with your timing. You were actually the first person to finish off Aga 1
That
of our
surprises
feature
me.
4.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't have thought I would have been the first one to finish him off. That's weird.
Yeah, you were, as Wolfling said, the first of our featured 4, and then but you went into the Dark World. I think you might have been the only person who, no, actually, Files got into the Dark World without the Moon Pearl, but he walked over to the Eastern Palace area and mirrored over, and then got the Moon Pearl and was able to mirror back to Pot.
That's right.
And Duke Firebird, you did take a couple of unfortunate deaths on Mothula there.
Yeah, I need to work on my moth execution just a tiny bit.
And GG to S Diesel, who will most likely be doing it shortly, as he has defeated Ganon as well.
Huzzah.
And we have a double snipe, if you can believe it. S Diesel 23rd, 2:18:31, sniping Odious Nassau who got a 2:18:36, who then sniped Demolisher 1 with a 2:18:47. And then we have 2:19:01 for Signums, and Chloe Prowler finishing in 2:19:15. There's only one or two more runners left in this race. Lots of people finishing into the last little few here.
Yeah, the only thing, honestly, I think the one thing I hated about this seed was the location of the flute, of all things. It's like, I was like,
Well,
ugh.
that is the other thing I wanted to mention. That's the other thing I feel that attributed to the timing of Aga 1 being a good play, is because it just lets you have a good, clean routing to get the flute online, do Meyer, save and quit, and then just go straight to Ganon.
True.
And yeah, I would say that if you had done what Files did, that would have been a very different story. Files went from the pyramid as a bunny, mirrored in front of Sarasala, and then did Eastern. And then went back into Piles of Darkness and got the boots.
Yeah, well played. Well played.
Yes. The Ice Rod did trip you up as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Tripped up, actually, I think everyone.
I was gonna say that was in one of those out of the way places. So
Other than that, this seed was just all over the place, really. I keep saying it, but I think it's true. This seed really came down to when you did AGA 1 and how effective did you make use of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I made a couple of weird, I would call them very weird gambles. Like when I went into Hera. I'm like, okay, got the one item, went to fight Moldworm. I usually have a weird thought process with this. If I go up to Moldworm without having the boots and hook, I don't try to do the bomb jump because I'm bad at the Hera bomb jump of all things. But I'll fight Moldworm, and if he drops the second item, I'm done. If he drops a minor item, I'll collect the item and then drop down, grab the big chest.
All right, and as Diesel has declined the interview here, so you will be the last one we will be interviewing, do Firebird.
Right.
So yeah, the flute positioning was kind of awkward. It did trip up files a little bit. Also, there was something interesting with your audio that happened.
Yeah, I think you guys probably got an alert on my end. Apparently, it looked like I got knocked offline just for like a very split second. Not enough to interrupt OBS, but enough to interrupt everything else. And I've never had that happen before.
And we have a 28th place finish here, 2:21:46 by Cheater Hater, a great name, by the way. I like that name. So there's only one person left in this race. And yeah. This scene was admittedly fairly kind. And actually, there we go. There's the last finisher crossing the finish line. It is Virtua Cat with a time of 2:22:39. This race is now officially over, folks. Everyone got finished before the restream. Yeah.
No, I think it would have changed the title. Oh no, there it is. It's delayed on my end.
Yeah, there was 30 people taking part. We only had one forfeit, so 29th place crossed the finish line just now.
Yeah, my status didn't complete on my window. I was like, what the heck? I think my system's going bonkers.
Yeah, GG to everyone who took part in this race, especially to Pinkity Rose, who finished in first.
Absolutely.
What a time that was. And it really, I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again. I think the AGA 1 routing was critical of this race. Not just timing it earlier rather than later, but just having it ready and done so that you could just go straight because of considering where our flute was.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was banking on, and thankfully it worked out.
Yeah. Of course, it would have probably saved you a few seconds if you realized the flute was up top, but details.
Yeah, but at that point in time, it's like, you don't know. You have to check. Because the one chest you never pick up is the one chest that's always in.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm going to say not too bad for kind of a D-Rust run for a rando. It's been... Literally, my last rando I played was at SGDQ. So, it's been a little while, but got to see, at least I can still read the seed a little bit.
Yeah. Well, anything final thoughts on the seed before we close things up? Because I feel it's a good time to do so.
Yeah, seed was good. GG's to everyone racing. GG's to the restreamers, and GG to the crew who put this on for us. Thank you very much.
All right, well, get your GG's once again in chat for Duke, Firebird, Diesel, Files, and Active Mogar, our feature 4 here. Along with everyone else who raced here that was not featured, make sure to at least give these 4 here a follow that we featured on Twitch. Links are in there. Yes, while you're at it, we are, of course, on Speed Gaming 2. There is Speed Gaming, the original. But we also have Speed Gaming 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure to give those a follow as well. And if you happen to be more proficient in French, Spanish, or German, we've got you covered. We have commentary restreams in those languages as well.
Absolutely. If you're in the mood for some more rando, we're not going to be restreaming a daily race tomorrow, but if you come back at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to the Speed Gaming channel, you get to see one of our summer tournament races, this one between ALG Andy and Ajneb 174, both of whom have won the big major tournaments. Ben having won the first 2 rando tournaments and Andy just winning the past spring tournament. So go watch that tomorrow on Speed Gaming. It's for actual real cash money. So it'll be a pretty hype race.
It's a pretty hype race indeed. Those seeing the two champions go at it, that's gonna be great. And yeah, while you're at it, make sure to give my co-counter here, the Firewall King, a follow here, as well as Storm Technico and Dark Sharna, our two trackers here as well. But that's about gonna do it for us here at for the daily races. So from all of us here at ALTTP Randomizer, I have been Wolfling0370, and we shall see you all next time. And thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.